Yo, what's going on, guys? And this Chris Paul situation is obviously just a fucked up one. The Clippers outing themselves for being a dysfunctional organization that when a Hall of Famer tries to hold them to accountability or to be accountable, they get rid of him. And they've done this before with John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Blake Griffin. We've seen it before. But the other thing is what's going to happen? Some reports are saying that Chris Paul might not ever play for another team again, that this is the end. But today we're going to discuss if it's not the end, because we know it is the last season, but maybe somebody picks him up, because there are teams that need ball handlers. So let me know what you guys think. And if you're a team in need of a ball handler, would you go out and get yourself a player like CP3, the point guard? Now, at this point in time, I think we can all agree there are two obvious contenders. The first one is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. The whole reason he went back to the Clippers was since he had been traded from the Clippers, his whole family stayed in Los Angeles. So he wanted to be close to home. That being said, the Lakers obviously make them the most sense for them to be interested in him and him to be interested in going there because it's the other team. Now, Doc Rivers is his former coach. And the Milwaukee Bucks and the Minnesota Timberwolves are the two other teams if he were to leave Los Angeles and be willing to play out his final season elsewhere. Milwaukee, as I mentioned, has Cole Anthony, Ryan Rollins, and Kevin Porter Jr. They could bring in Chris Paul to, entice Giannis Antetokounmpo at least to stick out the season. Plus, bringing in Chris Paul would allow you to use Kevin Porter, who hasn't played much due to injury, as a trade chip, as Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins have been the better two. And then with Minnesota, they don't have a point guard. I mean, there's Mike Conley and obviously Rob Dillingham, Bones Highland, and Dante DiVincenzo in that situation. But yeah, also right here, Clippers asked Chris Paul repeatedly to stop locker room lawyering, which I've used the phrase stop being a locker room lawyer when discussing Malcolm Brogdon. I was told by certain team sources that this team, when they got rid of Brogdon, they were so happy, and that F that guy because he was a locker room lawyer, saying that he was one of the smartest people they've ever met. But oh my God, he turned the team against the front office and the coaching staff, and made players not want to play when they were hurt, and it just created friction. I don't believe that was the case with Chris Paul. I know that Chris Paul has his own antics, but I just think it's more of the sources being Chris Paul is known for being a coach. When he was on the Phoenix Suns, the joke was that Monty Williams wasn't coaching, Chris Paul was. So I understand that, but what I find the most interesting is that this is a squad, or this is a guy that could help any squad. Realistically, I think the biggest part in this, shocker, is if there are obviously there's Dallas. I just don't think he's going to go to the Mavericks to play his last season. That's a shit show. They're not going to win. And Jason Kidd's not playing D'Angelo Russell. Look, I love Ryan Nembhard and Brandon Williams. I would rather just write out that. And if I need a veteran guy, let's go for a Markelle Fultz or somebody else who can be brought in to maybe be able to be brought back for the following season. I just don't think he fits there, but we agree. Anthony Edwards right now being your point guard is working out, but you're wearing him down early. Mike Conley is somewhat effective for being pretty old. And then Rob Dillingham, as I mentioned, has not been good. And Bones Highland's on Bones Highland. So that one's one that could work for the 40-year-old. I mean, I really think that if you can bring in, he's one of the best options now available. The Magic have gotten their things together, and Jalen Suggs is awesome. I like Tyus Jones, and he's been pretty brutal to begin the year. It's been bad. Anthony Black has emerged, so I don't think they would need him. Atlanta could work, but I mean, it depends on what's going on with Trae Young, but I think Atlanta could be a team. I just think, and the same thing with Memphis. But I think if you're going to go do this, you're going to do it for a team you think you're going to win. That's it. Like, I think there's multiple teams that you can look at that, like, oh, they need a guard. But I don't think every team that needs a guard would be interested in Chris Paul due to the fact that he's 40 years old. Well, like I said, the Grizzlies, Ty Jerome's been hurt. That's why I mentioned him. The Atlanta Hawks with the Trae Young thing. I don't know if outside of the Lakers, which even if he joined the Lakers, it wouldn't be like a guarantee that he'd get playing time. If you look at the current Lakers squad, I mean, he's never played with LeBron, so that's the other reason why I kind of think there's this potential for that to actually occur. Is he's his banana boat buddy, and the Suns, the Suns were a team that I thought he was going to sign with, but the Lakers recently played the Suns, and in that game, their backup point guard's been Gabe Vincent, and their third string point guard's kind of been Nick Smith / Ronnie James. So he would be able to maybe carve out 10 to 20 minutes a night on the Lakers bench. And it's his former teammate, JJ Redick, coaching the team. So that's why you'd think, in theory, it'd work. While with the Timberwolves, we know it's more of a direct effect. And then with, I just think actually, like, if I had to rank it, it would go Lakers, Timberwolves. And if it was any team outside those two, we mentioned it, Milwaukee. Just because that, like, seems like the only other team you go to. Because to be honest, Rajon Rondo's also there as, like, I guess he's not an official coach, but I guess like a quality coordinator. It's an interesting one, but what would you guys like to believe? And are you guys a fan of this team? Let me know. Made it to the end. I don't know what else we would discuss, because Chris Paul, it's not like he was like, and his stats for the season, I don't think are indicative of what he would do, but it's not like he's going to be averaging like a double-double. I think he could do the same what he did in San Antonio last year still, probably. That's it.